A very good morning to everyone, kids. Today in this class, we are going to learn about the Earth's temperature zones. So, as we have read already in the previous classes, according to the places of the Earth, the temperature will be different. So, related to this, we are going to learn deeply about the temperature zones of the world. So in the previous classes, we have learned about the factors which is affecting the climate, and now we are going to learn about the temperature zones, right? So temperature zone is separated into three. It is torrid zone, temperate zone, frigid zone. So let's see how this is different from each other, where it comes, and what are the things are there in these zones. So based on the sun's light and heat, the earth is having different kinds of temperature in its places. So if you see the equator, what will happen? The sun is giving its direct sunlight to the equator. But when you go to the pole, the sun's rays will be slanting like this. So this we have read already. When you go to the poles, the sun's rays will be going in the slanting line, right? So when it receives directly, the place which is receiving the direct sunlight will be very hot. And if you go a little bit above, you will see not much hot, not much cold, the moderate temperature. And when you go to the poles, you can see very cold climate. As it is receiving the sunlight in the slanting rays, we can see the poles in the cold climate, right? So here we have divided the Earth's temperature zone into three parts. So we know that the center line is called the equator, right? So up to the equator and down to the equator, mean up to the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, this area is called as torrid zone, right? So this part is called as torrid zone. The word torrid means very hot. So we know already the equator line will have very hot climate, right? It is receiving the direct sunlight from the sun. So the torrid zone is having the very hot climate. So even it is called as equatorial zone, or else it is called as tropical zone. As it is in the tropic and equator, it is called as equatorial zone or tropical zone. So here we have to know that the part which is above the equator and below the equator, mean it between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, this part is called as torrid zone, right? It is also called as equatorial zone or tropical zone. The next thing we are going to move just above. So from the Arctic Circle and Tropic of Cancer, this middle place is there, right? So the north side and south side, it is called as, the north side is called as north temperate zone. So which is in the Tropic of Cancer, the 23.5 degree north, it is called as north temperate zone. And down here, Tropic of Capricorn, it is called as south temperate zone. So the area from the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn and Antarctic Circle, this part is called as temperate zone. Torrid zone, temperate zone. So in temperate zone will be cooler and drier climate. So we know very well it is not receiving the direct sunlight, it is receiving the sunlight in a little bit slanting rays from the sun. So it is having the moderate temperate zone, it will be cooler and drier. So the torrid zone is having the hot, humid and wet climate, and the temperate zone is having drier and cooler climate. Comparing with torrid zone, temperate zone is having the cooler climate and drier climate. So we have learnt about two zones. First one is torrid zone and second one is temperate zone. The third one we are going to learn about frigid zone. So the Arctic Circle and Antarctic Circle is called as frigid zone. See, which is in the north, it is called as north frigid zone, which is in the south, it is called as south frigid zone. So without explaining itself, we know very well that these zones will have very cold climate. Always it will be covered with snow and ice, right? So when you go to the poles, the climate will be very extremely cold climate, and most of their areas will be covered with ice and thick carpet of snow. So here we have learned that the earth is separated into three zones. So according to their temperature, it is separated into three zones. The center lies the torrid zone, which is also called as equatorial or tropical zone. And in the Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, it is called as temperate zone. And on the poles, it is called as frigid zone. So the torrid zone will receive the direct sunlight and it is very hot. The temperate zone will receive the moderate sunlight. It is cool and drier than the torrid zone. The poles, which is having the frigid zone, will receive only sunlight in the slanting rays, and it is fully covered with thick carpet of ice and snow. So I hope it is understood very clearly about the three temperature zones of the world. Now let's see how to draw this picture, this diagram. So a small bangle will not be enough to draw this diagram. Kindly take a tiffin box lid like this. Keep it. First draw this using your pencil, and then on that again keep the tiffin box lid and draw it using your color sketch to make it more bright and visible. Then draw the lines using your pencil first. See the measurements. If it is correct, draw it using your color sketches. Later give colors according to your wish. So it should be filled like torrid zone one color, temperature zone one color, frigid zone one color. So three colors you have to use. You have to use for torrid zone one color, temperature zone same color, Arctic Circle, the poles same color. So this is how you have to do. And in the corner using the same box, you can keep little bit half and you can draw the line using your sketch and you can color it. So I hope this class will be very clear to you and you are very clear about the temperature zones of the world. So kindly go through the video completely and learn what is mean by the temperature zones and how it is different from each other. Thank you, kids.